Hello everyone, I'm Marion Short, the CEO of IAP2 Australasia, just here with a quick little advocacy update post the federal election here in Australia. So we do have a post-election webinar coming up with our wonderful Government Relations Advisor, Louise Crossman. That is this Friday, the 23rd of May. And it's just a wonderful opportunity now that the election is over. What happens next? And what does it mean for us in the engagement sector? So do join us for a frank outline of what the new political landscape might look like for our sector, with the opportunity to ask some questions. It won't be recorded, so you do have to come along, and you can register on our website or via our socials, and the link will be available for you. So that's the very first thing I wanted to share. Positively, all of the relationships that we've built with minister officers and key members of the crossbench are still in place. So I'm delighted about that. So not so much hard work from this federal election to rebuild relationships, but certainly ongoing work in terms of advocating for the importance of strategic engagement. On to the occupation standard classification in Australia. I had provided a couple of updates on this previously, and I'm really delighted to share that we had a positive meeting with Oscar at the Department of Statistics in Canberra last week. And subject to the March 2026 census, engagement professionals will be officially recognised as an occupation for late 2027. So we've got a little way to go yet, and you will hear more about this and the actions that you will need to take ahead of the census. So I'll be working with our advocacy committee on a campaign, so do watch this space, and that campaign will be launched ahead of the March 2026 census. So we've got a bit of a runway ahead of us, which is good. That's nice. And this process can be duplicated in New Zealand. So we'll be working out what we need to do. Oscar is actually separated. So the occupation standard classifications used to work across Australia and New Zealand. They were combined, and they've recently separated. So we'll go through a very similar process in New Zealand. So once I have a little bit more information on what that looks like for New Zealand, we'll be able to update our New Zealand members there. We have made a submission, and the link to this will be available. This is for our Queensland members. So it was the inquiry into planning, social impact and community benefit and other legislation amendment bill 2025. Now, if this bill passes, it will be IAP2 members who will be implementing the provisions involving community and stakeholder engagement. And so overall, we welcomed the focus on early and authentic engagement for projects, and involving engagement professionals in strategic planning, project planning will ensure that key engagement considerations are addressed at the earlier stages of project planning. We also went on to say a skilled and experienced engagement practitioner will be able to identify ways in which community input can best inform projects. We made 3 recommendations. We encourage them to adopt the IAP2 definition of engagement, which is an intentional process with specific purpose of working across organisations, stakeholders and communities to shape the decisions or actions of members of the community, stakeholders or organisation in relation to a problem, opportunity or outcome. So a very intentional purpose that underpins engagement, and we love to see a strengthened definition of engagement. The second recommendation was to amend the social impact assessment guidelines to require the SIA to frame stakeholder engagement as a positive exercise to assess project design and delivery. The draft guidelines very much saw engagement as risk management, while the bill itself requires social impact assessment to be undertaken at the early project stage. Wonderful, wonderful. The requirements in the draft guidelines do not seem to harness the benefits that early engagement can bring by having communities shape projects from the earliest stages together with expert technical advisors. So we just like people to see us beyond a risk mitigation strategy. And thirdly, we would like them to adopt the IAP2 quality assurance standard for community and stakeholder engagement as being the standard to underpin the bill. So that was a quick piece of work on that one. And it's always nice to get a submission off. Then hold the date. Our annual conference, of course, is going to be with us before you know it. So hold the dates for the 27th to 29 October. So that's 27 to 29 October, and we're at the Grand Hyatt in Melbourne this year. And our conference theme is engaging and influencing. So I really do hope that we see you there. Bye for now.